Earlier in the course, we created this array class. Now, if you missed that lesson, go back to the operator overloading section and watch the lesson called Overloading the Subscript Operator. So here we have an array class, but in this array, we can only store integers. Now that you've learned about templates, we can convert this class to a class template so it can store any kind of objects. And this is what I want you to do as an exercise in this section. So pause the video, spend a few minutes on this, then come back see my solution. All right, let's see how we can convert this class to a class template. So just before the class declaration, we type template. Here we add our template parameter. So type name T. We only need a single parameter because we only want to replace integers with T's. So first we need to change the subscript operator. So instead of returning an integer reference, we should return a T reference. Then we need to change the type of this attribute. So we're going to have a T pointer, as simple as that. Now, let's go to our implementation file. Now I'm going to take all these method definitions, cut them from here, and paste them in our header file. Now let's modify each of them one by one. So first we need to grab the template declaration and add it above each method. So here's the first one. Now the type of our class is no longer array, it's array of T. Now in the constructor, instead of newing up an integer array, we should new up a T array. The rest is fine. Now for the destructor, again, we add the template declaration and we change the type of class to array of T. We don't need to make any changes here because the delete operator works with values of type T as well. And finally, for the subscript operator, one more time, we return a T reference and make the class array of T. That's literally all you had to do. Now let's test this. So we go to our main file. First, we include the array class. Now, if we create an array object and pass 10 as the initial size, we get a compilation error because the compiler doesn't know the type of elements we want to store in this array. So here we need to explicitly supply a type argument. Let's say array of integers. Now we can store an integer in this array and print it on the terminal. Beautiful. We can also use this array to store string objects. So let's store hello world in this array. Take a look. Lovely. Now, what if we want to store pair objects here? Well, first we're going to include pair header file. Now, pair is a class template with two type parameters. So here we need to supply the arguments for these parameters. Let's say string and int. So now we have an array of pair objects where each pair has a key of type string and a value of type int. Now here we have a compilation error saying no matching constructor for initialization of pair. So when creating this array, the compiler doesn't know how to create pair objects because currently in this class, we only have a single constructor that requires a key and a value. So the compiler doesn't know what values to pass here. To solve this problem, we need to create a default constructor here, okay? Also, I want to consolidate this code a little bit. It's a bit messy to have multiple public and private sections. So let's add all these public members together. Now let's move the constructors up, add a line break, good. And we should also move the public section before the private section so we can easily see the interface of this class. Now, back to our main function, the error is gone. Now to store a pair object here, we type braces. For the key, I'm going to use a string, and for the value, I'm going to use an integer. So because each element in this array is a pair of string and int, the compiler will take these values and create a pair object on the fly. Now currently we have a compilation error here because we haven't overloaded the stream insertion operator for pair objects. So the compiler doesn't know how to write a pair object to the output stream. I leave that to you as an additional exercise.